So there's a couple of interesting things that have been changed in how religion works in what we have now in this DLC. So Catholicism, and this is the most critical one, Catholicism has a pope. But you will notice that if we go over here and look at Insular, so we go and look at the Insular religion, the Insular religion now has exactly the same pope. So different branches of a faith can now share the head of faith of the parent faith that spawned them, if that makes sense. Which is a nice little touch, because it now means that if you spawn your own version of Catholicism, you can take this, which is called Rite. And Rite means that new faiths keep their old head of faith on creation. And more importantly for Christian faiths, that means they're going to keep ecumenism. And ecumenism is critical, because what that means is other Christian faiths that have the ecumenism doctrine are considered astray instead of hostile. That means we can now do some really, really interesting things with Christian religions in this game. Because we can spawn sub-religions of Catholicism, we can form our own aposties and have interesting stuff with them and still keep them as only astray, not hostile. And if we're astray, not hostile, that means we can't be crusaded against. So it's a nice little touch, and there's another couple of different minor tweaks that they've made to religions. But if you're playing as a Christian nation, or you just like spawning custom versions of Christianity rather than entirely new faiths, that's a really interesting one to remember, is you can now have shared heads of faith. So the other thing you find with this is if you look in religious terms at the Iberian Peninsula, you will notice that it's not just Catholic, it is not just Muwaladi. Lurking in the middle here is Mozarabic. And Mozarabic is, or Mozarabism, is an organised Christian faith which has rite, communion, and adaptive, counter conversion resistance plus, but different faith opinions and everything else. So you have an entirely new faith in this game. It's a new faith in this game, and it's a new branch of Christianity that you can play as and have fun with. And you can see it's got holy sites. They're down here. You've got 3 of those. The same ones, I think, Rome and Jerusalem. But there is a whole Mozarabic faith lurking in there. So there is lurking in there as well for Iberia. It's lurking in the patch notes, and you might entirely miss it. And I am the kind of person that reads patch notes, yes. That you will find the lurking faith of Erazarak, which we've now got to find in the list. But it is an entirely new pagan faith based around the Iberia. There it is. This is an entirely new, unreformed Euskal. The ancient native Basque faith has long incorporated other, more transient religions, elements of Celtic paganism, Christianity, Hellenic paganism, and a heavy substrata of their own local myths and beliefs, all swirled together in a syncretic blend. That is a new faith lurking in the game, and it has this new trait, which is tenet, which is a good one to highlight as we kind of finish looking at faiths as well. Chthonic redoubts. Convert faith in county speed in mountain terrain plus 50%. Promote culture speed in same place 50%. Makes giant a virtue, which is pretty interesting. And it massively increases attrition for people who are not of your faith, but also increases your levy sizes and everything else. It's really quite cool. There is no shelter better than the roots of the earth, no fortress hardier than its jutting spines, no pilgrimage more sacred than its hidden trails. We gaze down at creation from these lofty summits and feel the true weight of the divine. So that kind of wraps up our little look at religion there, I think. But you've got some really, really nice stuff in there down in this DLC, and it's worth exploring. And I do strongly suspect we'll be attempting a convert to pagan faith run, where we'll be going to convert to Erazarak in the near future. How cool is that, chap? I mean, I genuinely think that a conversion to that is something we're going to need to do. Giant as virtue makes me hope they add making other traits virtuous in Faith Creator. I don't know if they've added that yet. I think the thing is it's linked to a tenet. So if you've got a tenet that would do it, then yes. Then you could have your virtuous dwarves. I can see why it has giant as a virtue if it's based on Basque mythology. Yeah, exactly. It absolutely fits. But I'm liking it because it shows they're not afraid to add new tenets. A new